Hello, this is Adam with DreamMade Productions. This video is made possible by the very kind donations of viewers like you. Thank you. If you are in a position to help this channel improve quality and grow, please visit my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below. Hello! So, I thought I would start showing some of my video game stuff. And where better to start than the first video game system I ever had. This is the Nintendo Entertainment System. I was lucky enough to keep the box. This I remember getting for Christmas one year and being insanely excited to have it. This is actually... The NES was the first video game system that I remember ever playing. I was little and someone put in Mario Brothers and I fell in love with video games and nothing's changed since. As you can see, this is one of the middle sets of the NES. It wasn't the original with Rob the Robot. It wasn't the control deck and stuff that had the brown zapper. As you can see, mine came with the orange one. In here is, I actually have two NESs, but this is the only box that I have. I have an NES in here. I'm going to open it up and see what's in here. I'm pretty sure the controllers are in a box elsewhere, and I know the zapper got thrown away at some point because it stopped working, but as you can see, it had Cell on the back of it. Let's see, the Nintendo Entertainment Action Set is the most advanced video game ever developed, equipped with control deck, two controllers, zapper light gun, and Duck Hunt / Super Mario Brothers double game pack for unending entertainment for the entire family. And then some more about it. What can I say? This was an awesome set. On each end here you have the cross cell, which has the Adventure series, which is The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Kid Icarus, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Super Mario Brothers. You have the Sport series, which is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Rad Racer, RC Pro-Am, Baseball, Pro Wrestling, and Golf. Trying to sell more games. On the other side, you have the cross sell for the NES Advantage, which I do have, and the NES Max, which I don't have. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up and see what's inside. Came in styrofoam to protect the system. Set this to the side. And here we have my very old control deck, which is dirty from lots and lots of use and started to yellow over the years. Let's see, what do we have in here? Super Mario All-Stars, Super Power Club, Super Mario All-Stars. So this is some little thingy advertising their little cheat Nintendo, to join the Nintendo Club. This probably came with the Super Nintendo and just got put in the box because Super Mario All-Stars was for SNES. But here's where the gun and the controllers and all the wiring and the instructions and stuff would have been. But this is what I have in the box now. But I am lucky enough to still have my original box and still have the original styrofoam that it came in. Alright, so now I'm going to show some of the games and some of the other goodies that I've got from the old NES era. I'm going to start with some of the boring stuff first. This isn't going to be a review or breakdown of anything. There's thousands of YouTubers that do reviews of old NES games. go back and watch some AVGN or something like that if you want some actual reviews. But I'm just going to kind of show some stuff and talk about it. First up, a lot of kids had this or something very similar to it. This was the NES cleaning kit. This was to try to get the NES to work better. Without the top loader and the mechanism that they had to get the game in, the NES is notorious for all of its glitches and it not making good contacts with the game and it not working properly. I remember when I played the NES, it was always kind of a race against time to see if you would get to play the game and beat it or whatever, or if it would reset or something would go wrong. You know, it would freeze or whatnot. This particular one came with a thing to clean the inside the actual system and then these little pads to clean the games themselves. A little bit of solution here, which was basically just alcohol. I'm not going to open this up. It's real simple. It's what you see here on the kit. The first game I have here is the game that it came with, which is Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Many hours playing this game. 1985, you can see here. What can I say? Mario Brothers was awesome. Duck Hunt was cool as a kid. Being able to control the duck as a second player was cool. Gave sort of a element to that of screwing over whoever you were playing with by making the duck extremely hard to hit. And then, you know, Super Mario Brothers, taking turns playing Mario and Luigi back and forth, playing through the game. Very basic. Not my favorite Mario Brothers, but when I was real little and first played this, to be able to press buttons and see something happen on the screen and control the game on the screen, it was just amazing, and it's one of the reasons I fell in love with video games in general. Piggybacking off of that, I have the instruction booklet for the dual pack here for Duck Hunt and Mario Brothers. Pretty much all Nintendo games came with these little instruction books, and I can remember one of the best parts about getting these games as a kid. You know, we would go to town or something, and you know, a game would be bought for me, and it would just be, you would just be going crazy with excitement to get home and play it. We would have to finish our shopping or whatever when I was a kid with my parents, but at least you could open up the book and read through and learn some stuff about the game. Yep, 1985 Nintendo. Explains how the buttons work. You know, goes over how to play Mario Brothers. Not that I think I needed this particular one as a kid, but you know, it was still cool to have. Explaining all of the enemies. Oh, Princess Toadstool and Bowser, King of the Koopa. Little secret tips section in here. Explaining how you get your increasing points as you go up. Stomping before you hit the ground. The bit about the zapper for Duck Hunt. Oh, this was such a cool thing to have as a kid. 6 feet back. That didn't get used very much. I was up close to the screen a lot. Man, this is taking me back. A lot of them came with these memo sections where you could write codes or whatnot. Cool. Next up, I've got Super Mario Brothers 2. Everybody knows this is, you know, a redo of Doki Doki Panic. My older cousin had this. Begged my parents for it for Christmas one year, got it, and played the heck out of this game. Obviously, you played as Princess Toadstool, as Peach, because she could float, and that was awesome. This game was super cool because you got to play as more than Mario and Luigi. You got to play as the princess and Toad, and that was freaking awesome. Now Now I do not have the manual for this. It's disappeared at some point over the years. Sadly, even though I know I got this new, I don't have the manual for it anymore. Next up, Super Mario Bros. 3. This remains my favorite Mario game of all time, especially the remake in the All-Stars one with some added graphics to it. I played this kart endlessly as a kid. There are so many powers and secrets and levels, and it is just an amazing game. This is on my short list for greatest video game of all time. You could play this game for years, I know I did, and you could never organically find everything in the game. There's so many little things hidden everywhere, from what we called the Penny Doom ships to all the secrets that are hidden through the levels, all the different ways to use the different power-ups to unlock things in the different overworld maps, all the different flutes, all the different things that you can find. Oh, it's just such an amazing game. Oh, I wish I had the instruction manual and stuff for this, but sadly it's lost as well. Next up, you have one of the games that I got used. You have Stealth ATF, Advanced Tactical Fighter. This is a first-person, simulation, flying around an airplane, shooting with your machine guns and missiles. This was a game I played a lot, had a lot of fun with it. It's a very basic game. I know kind of a cheat to it. If you loop around, if you just loop holding down and you just spin a lot, then you can get through pretty much the entire game. You're more or less invincible. It is a game that there's no end to. It just keeps cycling through the levels over and over and over and over. I don't know how far I got in this thing, but using that loop trick, I can't tell you how many levels I beat by just looping around, and your machine guns would eventually start whittling the enemies down and killing them. It was a fun game for what it was, and like I said, I got this used and I put a lot of time into it. It was a lot of fun. Next up, I have The Legend of Zelda. Now, this cartridge is brown, but this is not a mistake. This is one of the rarer versions of The Legend of Zelda. Oddly enough, it's about the same price as a gold cartridge, because who wants this cartridge when you have the gold one? The explanation is, I didn't get Legend of Zelda when it came out. I had to beg my parents for it, and later on they bought it for me, and they got it from the classic series, the reissue of Legend of Zelda. As you can see, I still have the original box here. So the original one, of course, had the gold cart, the legendary cart, and when they reissued the game later on at, I'm pretty sure, a cheaper price, they reissued it with gray cartridges. So I do have the original box here, or at least the original box from the classic series, and I have the instruction booklet, which is really cool. Flip through this. The original story here. A little more information than what you got in the opening crawl. Before the endless things that are out now, the complex encyclopedia of information that's Legend of Zelda now. A real basic story. And I keep flipping past a page. Yeah. You start your adventure, explains starting it up. The save feature. How to play. Oh, those screens. this was a cool game, and playing Breath of the Wild and playing Elden Ring brought me back to this before there was internet, when you would find stuff in the game and go talk, you know, at the playground and stuff, and people would tell you the secrets and you'd go and find it, or you wouldn't, or people would make stuff up all the time, and it was just such a cool experience. I remember when Breath of the Wild and especially Elden Ring came out, going to work and talking to people at work about playing those games, and it took me back to the playground of sharing stuff that I had found and hearing people's stories about playing Legend of Zelda. All of the items that are in this game, the Triforce, and of course there was a whole second quest you could go through that was harder. Oh, all the enemies and the cool artwork for the enemies. Oh. Oh my God, this book has so many memories in it. Me sitting there staring at this thing. And of course, you know, AVGN's What the Hell is a Tektite? Oh, the underworld. All the enemies from the underworld. Oh, and the how they didn't change this. You know, playing the whistle, thinking that it was going to do something to the Pole's voice because he hates loud noises, not knowing that, you know, in Japan you yelled into the controller. And then you come to the bosses and stuff. They gave you a little part of the map, how to kind of get started, and tell you how to get to the first labyrinth. And your memo section here. Oh, Legend of Zelda. What can I say that hasn't been said? A legend. Definitely not in my contender for the greatest game of all time, but definitely a legendary Nintendo game, and led to probably my favorite game of all time. But we'll get to that later in a later video. But really nice to have this. Later, I would get The Legend of Zelda 2 used in the gold cart. A lot of people don't like this game. I liked it. I didn't like it as much as the original, but it is still an awesome game and one that I played a lot, trying to beat, and to this day have never beat this game. It is hard, and yeah, you know, it was getting close to time to get the Super Nintendo when I got this, and I played it quite a bit, but I didn't have it when I was younger and had more time to play, and when the Nintendo was still in full swing. Since I got it used, you know, I don't have the book or the box or anything, but still, people hate on this game and it doesn't deserve it. It is a well-deserved classic. Next up, I have Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. This is an awesome, awesome game. It is very much, I don't want to say a hidden gem because a lot of people know about this game. It is not as popular as DuckTales, but it is certainly a cool game, and it let you play two-player. And one of the things about playing two-player was you could either help each other get through the levels, or you could get in fights and try to throw each other off of the platforms and kill each other. Kind of a proto Smash Brothers in that way, where you can't really kill each other with the items, but you can certainly stun each other and then, you know, grab each other and throw each other off the cliff. I have the box for it. Managed to keep the box all of these years. Capcom, when you would see this logo, man, you knew you were probably getting a great game. Looks like I got something in there. Oh, and there we go. We have the manual too. It was in the box. Oh, cross-sell for Disney's Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. Explaining how to play the game. Got some good line art in here. Chippendales Rescue Rangers. I love this cartoon as a kid, and to get to play it with the characters. I hope one day they do, well, I guess they won't now, but you know, if they, I was hoping for a long time that they would do a Kingdom Hearts, you know, cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon or whatever, weekday afternoon when they had all of these shows, and do one where you got to play through them all. Super awesome. Oh, Willow for the Nintendo. Good to have the instruction manual and the box. This is definitely a game I suggest that you play, especially with a friend, to try to help each other through all the platforming and fighting the very cool bosses that you got to fight, or of course, you know, to be a dick to each other and throw each other off the cliff. Next up, I have a game that I bought towards the end of the Nintendo's life cycle from Funko Land. Actually had both of the games in these series, but only one survived. I have no idea where the other one is, and it is G.I. Joe, a real American hero. This is a run and gun game, sort of like Contra, but not as good as Contra, but still very special to me because, well, we've already established how much of a G.I. Joe fan I am. I don't have the instruction manual or the book. Like I said, it was bought used from Funko Land. Happy to still have this Funko Land dust cover. It is still a perfectly good playable run and gun game, a little bit slower pace than Contra. Has some variety in it where you get to play in some vehicles, and of course play as all your, well, not all your favorite G.I. Joe characters, because this is from the 90s, once G.I. Joe started to really decline. But still some cool characters in there, and it is a fun game. I highly recommend it, along with slightly lesser recommending its sequel, the Atlantis Factor, which I did have. I bought both of them from Funko Land, but at some point in all of the moves, the Atlantis Factor got lost, and one of these days I'll have to buy it, but I'm still glad I have at least the cartridge for this one. Next up, I have Star Wars for the NES, and I do have the book for it, or the box for it. Something in there. There might be the book in there with it. This, yep, there we go. There's the instruction manual. And this was an awesome game. This game is a hidden gem. It is, they did a lot with the NES for this game. You get to run around as Luke Skywalker. You get to run around as Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia. You have people that can do things like Obi-Wan Kenobi can kind of heal you, and you get the droids and stuff. There's sections where you get to run around, like I said, as the heroes. You get to drive around in the land speeder. You get to shoot TIE fighters and the Millennium Falcon. You get to fly around in an X-Wing, both first person and through the trench run. They crammed a lot of variety into this little game. I played this over and over, reliving Star Wars. A New Hope is still my favorite Star Wars movie. It is one of my favorite movies of all time, and to get to relive it in video game form was just amazing. Oh, I cannot describe to you how good this game is. It's not perfect. Yep, there you go with your select, where you have your 3 playable characters and then your support characters that do stuff. Oh, the hours and hours that I played this game. Yeah, there you go. You have an asteroid field, which is a lot closer to Empire Strikes Back, flying around trying not to die to the asteroids. Oh, running around the Death Star, fighting bosses. There's a few little bosses in this game. Not a whole lot, but a few that you get to run into. Yeah, there you go, flying around in your X-Wing. You had cool full color shots here, you know, stills from the movies, which back in the day before, you know, video on demand and when VHS tapes were still somewhat expensive, just to have screenshots from the movies and the book was awesome. And then a little thing about your enemies that you'll be fighting. Had to throw Boba Fett into the game, even though, you know, he's not in the movie at this point, but whatever. Yeah, if you get the chance to play this, definitely give it a shot. You know, the Super Star Wars games overshadow the NES games. There were two. There was Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. I don't have Empire Strikes Back. I've heard mixed things about it. I've never played it. But this Star Wars game for NES is an amazing game, and just what they were able to accomplish with it, to cram what they did into this cartridge. Awesome, awesome. If you get the chance, check it out. Next up, I have Dino Wars. Now, this is a game that I got new, but I don't have the book or box or anything left for it. It disappeared at some point through my travels, and I have no idea where it is. Dino Wars. This was a huge disappointment for me. How can I put this into words? This is a kind of game that brings out my inner AVGN. I got this game because it combined giant robots with dinosaurs. What kid isn't going to get excited about that? But the game sucks. Now, let me explain myself a little bit there. The game is okay as kind of a game. You know, you do get to run around as a dude with a laser gun and shoot stuff. You do get to jump into a giant robot dinosaur and run around, and you have different weapons that you can pick up and use. And the DNA of a good game is there. But whoever did it just did not do a good job. There's only really one boss in the game. Now, there are other technical bosses that you run into, but they're just dinosaurs that have more hit points than the other dinosaurs. Like, you don't run into a boss, you just run into other dinosaurs that you've, in some cases, already killed dozens of, and it just plays the boss music, does the exact same thing as the other dinosaurs. It just has more hit points. And there's only one boss in the game, but you fight him over and over and over. It's a mother brain ripoff, a big brain in a jar kind of thing that you have to go through a level, and it just sits there getting shot while its little guns shoot at you. And yeah, it just, this game. Play it if you're looking for a game to see that kind of sucks, because there's no real story. There's just give the game a shot, get a good laugh out of it, but this is definitely one of the games that just sucks when I was a kid. Next up, I have Mission Impossible. And this was a cool game. You know, I used to watch the show, the 80s, late 80s maybe. The show, the remake of the original like 60s show that came out in the 80s or 90s. I used to watch it with my mom. So I got Mission Impossible one year for Christmas. This is actually a pretty good game. It doesn't really suffer from the, tie-in game. It has a lot crammed into it. It is kind of hard for as a kid. It definitely has kind of Metal Gear vibes, looking down, you know, playing top down and running around doing stuff. You have 3 playable characters and they all have their own abilities and they serve as your lives. I do have the instruction manual here for it. We'll flip through here. There are missions where you run around as your guys. There's missions where you play as a speedboat. There's missions where you play as, I think, as an airplane. I never beat this game as a kid. Yep. There's a mission where you're skiing. That's cool. There are bosses in this game, and this is a hard game. I mean, figuring out what to do is hard. I remember being stuck forever as a kid, not being able to just beat the first level because you didn't know what to do or where to go, and the game gets hard from there. And once you finally do beat the first level, once you go to the boat level, it's hard too, but it's hard because, you know, you're running around as a boat trying not to run into stuff. It's pretty straightforward. Just get to the end of the level, and then from there to go back and forth to different things. It is a cool game. Definitely underrated. Lots of enemies for you to fight and figure out ways to overcome. If you get a chance to play this game, it's really cool and interesting. Next up, I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. This game was super awesome. My older cousin had the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, the one that gets all of the hate. It's a perfectly fine game. Don't listen to AVGN. It's perfectly playable. The arcade game in arcades was a super cool game to play. And this one, I won't lie, as a kid it disappointed me. But it disappointed me because I was more or less expecting the arcade game. And when I got this, when it wasn't the arcade game, I was disappointed. Looking back on it, that was kind of foolish. You know, there was no way this was going to literally be the arcade game. They did an excellent job converting this to a Nintendo game. It is 2-player, which was super awesome. What they had to simplify, they did, and they made some changes. They added 2 levels to this game. It's still a cool game, and I played the crap out of it as a kid. Expecting to have like the actual arcade game on my Nintendo, you know, whatever. I was a kid, didn't understand, but I still played the crap out of this game, and it is still a fun game to have. Definitely give this game a try and see what they managed to do to cram all that into this. Next up, I have this game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project. This game was a lot closer to the arcade game. I remember getting this, taking it home, and being much more impressed with The Manhattan Project. By this point, if the Super Nintendo wasn't out, it was close. I played this game a lot. It was honestly the better of the 2 games and the best of the Ninja Turtles games on Nintendo. I had friends that came over and played it, and it's overshadowed, kind of rightfully, by Turtles in Time for Super Nintendo. But if you get a chance, go back and play this game. They improved a lot that they had to sacrifice from the arcade game to get this, to get the arcade game onto the Nintendo cartridge. With this, they were able to focus on making just a cool NES game, which they did. This is a cool game. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot easier than the arcade game, so I was able to beat this as a kid, where I was never able to beat the arcade game on Nintendo. I could get to Shredder, I just couldn't beat him. But yeah, if you get the chance, check out Manhattan Project. It was a very cool game and is overlooked in the Nintendo games, in the Nintendo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games. Next up, the game itself is gone, lost to time somewhere, but I did have Iron Sword Wizards and Warriors 2 with Fabio there on the cover. My older cousin had the original Wizards and Warriors, which is a super awesome game. This game is cool too, just not quite as good in my opinion. It still gives you that feel, and they did add a lot to the game, more weapons, more things you can do in the game. It just, I don't know, it wasn't as fun to me as a kid as the original. I have gone back and played this game as an adult and played the original, and like I said, even though the original Wizards and Warriors is simpler, it's just not as much fun. This game is not as much fun as the original Wizards and Warriors for some reason, even though they put a lot more into this game. I can't quite put my finger onto why. If you get a chance, do play this game. I highly suggest Wizards and Warriors and Wizards and Warriors 2 Iron Sword. They're both fun games, very creative in what they did. Check out my reading of the Wizards and Warriors Nintendo novel that was out. Sadly, I don't think they ever made one for this game, even though there's a tad more story into this one with you running around. But yeah, somewhere out there this game got lost, and it makes me sad. I had the cartridge and box at one point and everything. Alright, the original Legend of Zelda came with this little fold out that gave you some hints and tips that were expanded from what they gave you in the actual book. Thought we would take a look at this real quick. They give you a much larger map here. Explain a little more about the game. Help you as a kid to kind of get started here. And give you a whole map of the first 2 dungeons and explain pretty much how to do the entire level. It is just a little thing that they included to help people get started, because back in the day you were used to just playing Mario Brothers. You were playing, the games were simpler. This was, it took a while for you as a kid to wrap your head around exploring and finding stuff. So this was kind of cool to include. Speaking of cool things, I saved arguably the best for last. This was something I picked up much later in life. Conquering Zelda, the unauthorized guide. Step by step to conquering the Legend of Zelda and the Adventure of Link, filled with hints, maps, strategies, and you have a very interesting take on Link here. $7.95 here. And whoever bought it originally bought it at Software Inc. Now, I bought this from, I think, an antique store or bookstore or something. You can see I paid less than $10 for it. I have no idea what this thing is actually worth. I just thought it was cool. It was sitting on a shelf, and I think I talked the guy down a little bit. I don't think I actually paid $10 for it. I think I paid less than that. But I never actually opened it. It's still, got tape on it from when the bookseller had it. So let's go ahead and open this bad boy up, and I'll make some comments on it, because I've never actually opened this thing. It just sat on my shelf for, God, years and years. I bought it as an adult, so this wasn't something I had as a kid. But yeah, I mean, this would have been from the time frame of the game. So these what would later become called strategy guides were the only help that you could really get, other than, people on the playground telling you tips and stuff. And wow, for as old as this tape is, it does not want to come loose. Let's take this bad boy out. Computer Books, Greensboro, North Carolina. Some cool artwork there. Let's see. Copyright 1990. Forward here. explaining all the items. Oh, yeah, there we go. The overworld map. Some cousins of mine, they actually made their own strategy guides with graph paper, and they're actually colorful and stuff. I wonder if they still have those. They sat down and made everything, explaining where all the items are. Well, there you go. There's the first dungeon. Actually kind of disappointed. I expected there to be more artwork in here. Labyrinth 4 Mission 2. Yeah, it looks like somebody was making their own notes in this book with pencil. I beat the first quest as a kid. I never beat the second quest as a kid. Look at that. Ooh, complex dungeons. Defeating the Adventure of Link. Oh, there we go. The overworld maps for Legend of Zelda 2. This was a cool game. Like I said, it gets a lot of hate, but it doesn't deserve it. Oh, there's a cross cell back here. What else did we make? Conquer guides. Computes guide to Nintendo games. Computes Nintendo secrets. Conquering Zelda, the unauthorized guide. I'm guessing these guys didn't stay in business very long. What we got on the back page here? The official book of Ultima. Compute has winning hints. Yep. Oh, no. The official book of Leisure Suit Larry. The official F-15 Strike Eagle Handbook. The official F-19 Stealth Fighter Handbook. Yeah, go look up the cool stuff of the history of the F-19. That's a cool little thing. The official book of Ultima, Turn and Burn. The authoritative guide to Falcon. These are all PC games. Especially Leisure Suit Larry. Cool. Well, guys, that's all I got for you this time. Let me know below, did you have any of these games? What were some of your favorite Nintendo games? And as always, I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come. Hello, this is Adam with DreamMade Productions. Thank you for watching my content. It really means a lot that you have given me the chance to entertain you. If you would like to support the channel, please visit my Patreon at patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below. Also below is a link for PayPal, or links if you would like to send crypto, if that's more your thing. Please know any amount that you give will be cherished and used to upgrade equipment and improve the channel. You can also help the channel by subscribing, turning on notifications, liking, commenting, and sharing my channel with anyone you think might be interested. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come.